Mitch Miller here, your friendly Masonic storyteller, anarchist, atheist. Uh, Before I told the Kohler family legend, I kind of insinuated that people should do their homework, and this video is a little personal, and it's kind of for all these possibly women out there who are willing to read great literature and sit down and read a book or short stories, that maybe are trying to convince their fathers to do the same thing, but they won't invest the time or the effort into researching that because corporate America likes to label people as lunatics or terrorists, you know, but if that's the form terrorism takes, is a guy with a tablet in front of a camera, um, that's, you know, to be expected if you're not going to put rational and logical and whatever type of people on the big screens in the national media. And I think it's pretty harmless, but if that's the direction we're going to take our intelligence programs, is defining the people that can just fly off without electronics and then acquire them and like pop up and say stuff on camera, and then we're going to isolate them. I mean, that's not a great situation. It's not freedom of speech, which the nation I come from was supposed to be founded in. But anyway, this story is it's for all of my fraternity brothers that aren't able to wire me money. I wanted to say something similar to this, maybe a little bit more intelligently months ago. But again, back to the Kohler family legend, I did write this literature months ago in July. I think it was pretty classy. I think, the Kohlers are going to have a story about how this guy went off and wrote these amazing stories, and I don't want to leave that to them, but they might. My wife at least has a little story to tell at a cocktail party someday. So this story is about it's about my son, who I'll never have, which is fine because kind of rather have a daughter anyway, but I don't know. Anyway, the story is about I when I met my wife, we talked, and one way to kind of figure out what people's feelings are and ideas are is to speak out loud and during the dating and courting process. And sometimes people kind of talk, once it starts getting serious, you start talking about, babies, and kind of think about names and stuff like that. It's one way to kind of find out if people are open to things and stuff like that. So we decided that if we ever had a child, it would be named, if it was a boy, it would be named Jackson Danger Miller, which I think is a pretty cool name. She can tell you the story about the female name, but I knew if I pushed, we'd work something out. I always thought maybe we'd adopt, but things change drastically and horribly. So we came to the conclusion that we just weren't going to have kids, and that's fine. And I want to stick by that for my life. But anyway, this is for Jackson. I know Americans. I know what really sets Americans off. It's if you try to tell them how to raise their kids, right? If anarchist atheists that pay taxes to the property taxes to the government and fund the schools in America tried to go to a PTO meeting and say, hey, we want like sustainability taught in school, or these other sciences taught in school. Those parents probably wouldn't put up with that. They'd say, if you don't even have kids, get out of here. You're not a parent. You can't be in the parent-teacher organization. This is just a conversation that I would have with my child, with Jackson, right around age 4 or 5. I'd say, Jackson, uh, you know, I want to talk to you about something, okay? There's this thing, and it's called the internet, and it's this wired communication network. It's supposed to span the whole world, okay? And when civilians put information on this wired information network, um, sometimes it can go to the whole world. There are different ways to communicate on it, okay? There's email, which is more private, and if you pay for email, it's really private, but even most public email, free email sites that have a certain degree of privacy to them. A lot of people respect that. Then there's this thing called social media, and Daddy's had it a couple times. We're gonna pretend, and right now you're 5, and Daddy has this social media, and he likes to take snapshots and take video and shoot stuff, and he puts it up on his social media, and all of his friends can see it. But sometimes, because I didn't really look at contracts and stuff, it can go out to the whole world. Okay, Jackson? So how does that make you feel? Oh, sorry, okay, but I understand. So what I want to do is, we still like to use technology, to show Grandma and Grandpa things and stuff like that. So, what? How about this, Jackson? All right. When I take videos of your first steps and things like that, which I already did, how about I send those in the email? Okay. And Grandma and Grandpa and all our aunts and uncles, they can see it on the email, but nobody else will. But I like people to see my I'm proud of you and stuff. So okay, how about, can we talk? Can we negotiate, Jackson? All right, just hear me out. How about 3 photos? 3 photos a year I can put on social media, okay? And you can decide. Yeah, I know you don't want to be embarrassed. You can decide which ones they are. I'll show you on my phone before I share them, and I'll put those on. Okay? Can we? Is that okay? All right. If you really want to, I won't put any of your information on the internet. Okay? I'll even protect you. I'll try to, keep other people from putting it on there. All right, bud? That's something I want to do for you as your father. Okay? But we can talk about this. You're only 5 now. Nobody's gonna really be paying attention. When you're 7 or 8, we can revisit and talk about it. Okay? Okay, buddy? So yeah. End scene. So that's kind of how, I hate to, I'd rather sit and have a beer with my fraternity buddies and try to express that, but they probably think I'm too intense, or I get fired up about privacy and things on the internet, and they just get a bad taste in their mouth if I individually try to speak with all 45 guys I was around the house when I pledged. Inevitably one of them say that guy's a dick, he's telling me stuff like that. So I think after a cool down period, probably most of the guys that I know from college would kind of say that probably was the best way to purvey that message. Sorry